What's up, guys? It's Jensen and welcome to another video. So the Indianapolis Colts went 7-9 this year, but certainly that's not what they expected coming into the season. And I have to be honest here. Before Andrew Luck retired, I had the Colts going to the Super Bowl because even with the Chiefs being in the AFC, I thought that maybe the Chiefs defense wouldn't show up. I just really liked the Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck because they just seemed well balanced, not a real weakness. But once they had Brissett there, I just thought they're probably just a playoff team, maybe just a wild card team at best. And they weren't even that. 7-9, pretty disappointing. They battled some injuries throughout the year, but nevertheless, it's certainly not what you wanted to see from Brissett this year. I thought he played well, considering the fact that he really didn't even know he was going to be the starter until like August. It's pretty crazy that he was able to put it all together and not completely fall apart this season. But I think that if I'm the Indianapolis Colts right now, I'm looking for a quarterback that can take them over the top, because right now Brissett is not that guy in my opinion. I would like Brissett with like the Los Angeles Chargers or a team like that, because I think he could be like a stopgap starter. I don't think he's a future franchise quarterback. So I think that in the Indianapolis Colts need to look at Teddy Bridgewater. This guy, even though he played 5 games this season for the Saints, he was spectacular filling in for Drew Brees. I thought that the Saints would be dead when Drew Brees was injured. I thought they would probably lose a couple games. No, Teddy Bridgewater kept them undefeated during that time when he was starting. Except for that one time when he filled in for Brees, that game he got injured, which was already, they were losing by a lot to the Rams, so I don't really count that. But those games after that, he was spectacular. And I wasn't a Bridgewater believer at first, but I am now, because I remember when the Saints were playing the Chicago Bears, and I thought Bears were going to win because Bridgewater was a quarterback for the Saints. And he shredded them. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw 1 interception, but nevertheless, the bottom line is that this guy balled out. And I think that Teddy Bridgewater, if all the pieces around him are right, he could be an above-average quarterback. He has nice accuracy, he's mobile, he has a pretty good arm strength, and I just really like Bridgewater. We have to remember that this guy was potentially a future star in the NFL before he had that horrible knee injury, but I think he's finally past that, and now he can develop. He's only 27 years old. But this fit really makes a lot of sense here, because the Indianapolis Colts are going to have the most cap space entering into this offseason. So even if they sign a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, it's not really going to affect their cap space. That's a crazy thing. We have to keep in mind that the Colts already have Marlon Mack. He's a workhorse running back. They have T.Y. Hilton. He's a bona fide wide receiver. Paris Campbell, this guy has incredible speed, and even though he wasn't that great this year, I expect more out of him next year. And not to mention the offensive line. You could put any quarterback behind the offensive line and they're going to have success. So they had a piece on offense. And then when you look at the defense, they have some ballers there. Darius Leonard, he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL. He's one of the best in the league right now. Malik Hooker, underrated safety. He's a true ball hawk. So when we look at this Indianapolis Colts roster, so much talent, but they need a quarterback, and I think Teddy Bridgewater is a guy. I think he's a good fit with a guy like Frank Reich. I think Reich is one of the best coaches in the NFL. It's not a coincidence that when Frank Reich was in Philadelphia, Carson Wentz looked like an MVP and Nick Foles was the Super Bowl MVP, and when he was gone, those two guys didn't look quite the same. That's not a coincidence. Frank Reich is a good quarterback, good coach. And he's a former quarterback, there's that. So I really like him with Bridgewater. And I was impressed by what he did with Jacoby Brissett this year. Brissett became a starter with a couple weeks ago before the start of the NFL season. And yet they were still able to produce a 7-9 season. That's very impressive in my opinion. I think that Frank Reich with Teddy Bridgewater is perfect. And then when you think about all the cap space they have, they could virtually do whatever they want this offseason. If they wanted to sign Amari Cooper to go with T.Y. Hilton and Eric Ebron, they could do that. If they wanted to sign a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, one of the best run-stopping linebackers in the NFL, they could do that. If they wanted to get Shaq Barrett, he was a leading sacking guy this year, they could do that too. They could do virtually whatever they want this season even if they sign Teddy Bridgewater, which is why this makes perfect sense to me, in my opinion. And I don't think they should draft a quarterback, because to me this is a win-now roster. Plus, you would have to trade up for a guy like Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert. It's not worth it for them. They have to win right now. Bridgewater's perfect. And I think they'll be able to get him at a pretty reasonable cost, because there aren't many teams out there that have that much cap space that would be interested in Bridgewater. So this makes perfect sense for all sides. And if this deal does go down, I think that the Indianapolis Colts will have a shot at the Super Bowl next year. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be providing more NFL and NBA hot takes as the season goes on. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports. Keep it 100, and I provide you my facts and analysis regarding sports. And remember to have a good day.